How to code using NVivo for Windows. There are different kinds of coding you can do in NVivo. NVivo codes are when the name of the code is also the exact same words that have been coded. An example will be given below. We will also code to nodes, to those containers. So rather than giving the name of the code the exact same words that have been coded, we have a shorthand. So someone talking in detail about different kinds of development, we may just call that code development, and in NVivo the name code and node are synonymous. So we may put text that is being written about development into a node that we choose to call development. Another approach to coding is autocoding. And there NVivo does the work for you to generate either what is called themes, if we're using NVivo, or we can use autocoding to divide the transcript by question or by responding or by respondent. Coding by question can be a quick and easy way if the text lends itself to that, such as in a semi-structured interview, but towards the structured end, where we have focused questions being asked in a set order and less conversational in style. And sometimes we may want to separate the interviewee's talk from the interviewer's talk, especially if it's very conversational in style, and autocoding can be used for that purpose, help us do that as well. However, we will not deal with autocoding on this page. We have dedicated a whole page to autocoding, and that is our next page in the Getting Started with NVivo course. Let us start with an example of NVivo coding. We highlight the texts that we wish to code and right-click. A drop-down menu will appear. Choose NVivo. Node, we can code to a node, we can code to recent nodes, and we can also uncode. And that can be useful if you want to change how you code or if you make a mistake. We can uncode also from recent nodes. So that's like a quick undo. But in our case now, we're going to code NVivo. Simply click on Code NVivo. If we now click on Nodes underneath Codes in the left-hand side column, we will see in the middle window we have made a new code, and it's called "There are some of us out there that are looking for ways to try and help the industry." Actually, the full name of that code is exactly the same text that is highlighted on the right-hand side column. Why might we want to make NVivo codes? Well, NVivo codes can be very useful, especially in the early stages of analysis, while you're beginning to formulate and develop your coding framework. Later, we might make codes, name codes, such as industry, and then later choose to recode NVivo codes into our nodes, our shorthand names for that coding pot. Another way to use NVivo coding is to keep a node that we call key extracts and code NVivo into that. It's a way of just maintaining easy access to quotations that you think might be important to use in future. We will now code that very same text, just for an example purposes, to a named node. So highlight the same text and right click, but this time select Node and then click on New Node and give it a name. I called this node Fishing Industry. This Fishing Industry node appears in your list of nodes, which you find by making sure you've highlighted nodes underneath codes in the left-hand side column. As you read through the interview transcript, you can then select other text that's also talking about the fishing industry and add that to the same node. When you want to know what text is contained within the node fishing industry, we simply click on nodes in the left-hand side column, then click on fishing industry to view. Or alternatively here, another way of putting it is to click on the references that align with the code name that you're interested in. If you want to code again to an existing node, an easy way to do that is to highlight the text and drag and drop it onto the node. So we just drag and drop that particular text there that's highlighted and drag and then drop it onto where it says fishing industry. So having coded your transcripts, to view your nodes, to view the codes, first click on nodes, number 1. Then find the code or the node that you're interested in and click on references. In this case, we now have 4 references that have been coded towards fishing. We can view these in the right-hand side window, number 3. If we want to see the text in context, we simply click on the file the text belongs to. So there's a link to, in this case, the file Margaret that we're working on above, because all 4 references belong to the interview with Margaret. So if you were to click on that link, it would take you back to the interview and you would find that the transcript, for viewing purposes only, has been highlighted where text has been coded to fishing. That's a good way of understanding the codes in context, and I'd always encourage you to go back to the data and see how the text fits. It's easy to become removed from the transcript, so certainly now and again go back and view the coding within context. Make sure that you're fully aware and immersed in the data itself. This is the end of the video on NVivo and node coding. For autocoding, see our page on autocoding.